Let's begin with Francine in the episode Shallow Vows. The episode begins with Stan and Francine discussing renewing their marriage vows.
You do remember our 20th wedding anniversary's coming up, right?
Of course. That's why I've planned to
have a magical ceremony to renew your vows. Great, just cut me that check for $6,800, the budget we agreed upon, and I'll get started.
$6,800? Oh, Stan, I'm so lucky to be married to such a good provider.
However, 2 weeks before the ceremony, Stan reveals why he married Francine.
She is just beautiful.
That's the reason I married her.
Well, that's not the only reason.
Yes, it is.
There was nothing else?
Nope.
Just my appearance.
That is correct.
Don't give up on this, Francine. There were good times.
Well, 2 weeks before our wedding, Stan and I agreed not to see each other.
Just like before, you won't see each other for 2 weeks. Then we'll recreate your reunion at the wedding.
So the 2 weeks pass, and the ceremony is about to begin. Francine pulls up in a limo and walks out as a disgusting mess.
Mom, here she comes.
I'm ready to renew our vows.
This obviously makes Stan really uncomfortable and upset. So much so that starts tearing their relationship apart.
You ran out on our wedding?
To be fair, Francine, you're ugly. 109.
That's it, Stan. We're through. I want you out of this house.
No, you don't. Whoa, Francine, be careful. Lift with your fat, ugly legs, not your fat, ugly back.
I love this TV trope. The man getting tossed out of his own home or being forced to sleep on the couch. Isn't it funny how Francine feels entitled to the benefits Stan provides, yet Stan is not entitled to Francine's beauty? How is that fair? He's paying for the house, yet Francine is still able to toss him out. Well, because Stan is afraid of his gorilla wife, he crashes at the CIA for the night. And it's at the CIA where he gets a brilliant idea.
So, you're here late?
Yeah, I gotta clean up after all those animals you folks blinded.
My wife kicked me out.
Ooh, is she fine? Because I'll give a fine bitch a call.
No, she's not fine. That's the problem.
Hello, Stan. I got your message.
Oh, Francine, thank you for meeting me. Look, I know I've been acting like an ass, but I'm committed to this. That's better.
Stan, what is going on with you?
I had my retinas removed. I'm completely blind. A toast to us.
But him being blind turns out to be great for their relationship. He starts listening to her, he enjoys her food, and everything seems to be going great.
What's in this? It's fantastic.
I make this all the time.
I guess I'd never truly tasted your cooking before.
Oh, Stan, without your eyesight, you've become a much better lover. In some strange way, your blindness is the best thing that has ever happened to us.
Now, you won't have to spend all day making yourself pretty. You can take care of me full time.
What?
You'll be providing for the family now.
I can't be a provider. I didn't get married to take care of somebody. I got married to be taken care of. I don't want to be a provider.
And I don't want an ugly wife.
I guess I'm just as shallow as you are.
I love this scene. Every relationship is built upon the idea of give and take. Everybody wants something from the people in their lives. Stan wants an attractive wife, and Francine wants a husband who makes good money. But society has a problem with men's wants. It's become wrong to want an attractive and young woman to be with. Famous people like Leonardo DiCaprio refuse to date women over 25, and everyone gets butthurt about it.
But I also find it slightly cringy, DiCaprio, that it's all the women are always very young. It's like, well, really, mate? No one your own age? Or so what do they talk about?
I find DiCaprio creepy, actually.
Men will say, oh, I don't want to date a fat woman, and then we get the body positivity movement.
But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice. That's not a preference.
Okay, so back to the episode. Stan and Francine learn that both of them married for shallow reasons and they're happy again. But why does Francine deserve this ending? Does she really deserve to be married to a hardworking man that provides everything that she wants? Well, remember, she is a liar and a whore. Let's go back to this line.
Well, 2 weeks before our wedding, Stan and I agreed not to see each other.
What happened during that 2-week break they took from seeing each other? Well, Francine had unprotected sex with a random bar Chad and most likely has been cucking Stan for the past 20-some-odd years.
There's a chance you're not Haley's father. It happened a few days before our wedding at my bachelorette party.
I already made a video talking about this episode, but it's still relevant. The signs of her being an unfaithful whore have always been there. You see, when a guy asks about a woman's body count, it's seen as a bad thing. Why does that matter? It was just sex. As it turns out, there's a whole episode that touches on this exact point. This episode is called When Stan Loves a Woman, and it begins with Francine showing off her rose garden.
It's a rose bush. I planted it to commemorate the first time we ever made love.
Look at that, honey. A bunch of other people planted rose bushes just like you.
Oh no, those are all mine.
All of these?
It's not that many. Nicky.
Francine, it's no use. It's not gonna happen tonight.
Give me a chance.
Uh-oh, Francine, you are not entitled to sex with your husband. You cannot keep going or else it will be marital rape. Stop it.
Hey, I'm not the problem. You're the problem. I've never slept with anyone except you. But you have a sex garden that was on the cover of Sex Garden magazine.
So Francine tries her best to calm him down and tell him it's not a big deal.
Stan, that was just sex. Sex without love is meaningless.
Now, I don't blame Francine for not knowing this. After all, she is just a dumb slut. But there is this really awesome chemical called oxytocin. You see, oxytocin is often referred to as the love hormone. This chemical is extremely important because it helps a man and a woman bond together during intercourse. Now, like any chemical, if you have too much of a specific substance in the body, you'll eventually become more resistant to its effects. Caffeine, melatonin, serotonin, etc. are a few examples of this. I can safely make the assumption that if the body constantly produces oxytocin, it'll become more resistant to its effects. Like if a woman goes from a guy to a guy to a guy to a guy, she'll get more and more oxytocin produced, and therefore it'll take more of oxytocin to bond with the next guy she is with. This is why the amount of partners a woman has matters. If she has already had partners before you, she has bonded with those men chemically. It will literally rewire their brains to bond with them. But I must come clean. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a degree in this stuff. Obviously, any opinion I have is now rendered invalid. So let's get back to something I am well educated in. Thoughts and TV shows.
Francine, I'm listening to you talk, I'm looking in your eyes, but all I can see is you taking more poundings than Omaha Beach before the ground assault began.
It wasn't making love. It was sex. Mechanical, degrading, pulling gravel from my knees sex. It meant nothing.
I love how women will try to justify their past behavior. It was just in the past. I love you now. This is the final rose bush I'm gonna plant. BS like that. But the past will always find a way to affect the future. Did you know that when a woman goes from 0 partners to just 1 partner before you, divorce rates jump from a 5% chance to nearly 20% chance according to the study? But why am I talking about divorce? Well, because Francine thinks that the best course of action to take in this situation is to divorce Stan.
What's this?
I figured out how you can sleep with another woman without breaking your vows. I'm divorcing you.
Stan tries his best to get some bar puniti, but it goes just as good as you'd expect.
She's convinced that if I have meaningless sex, I'll conquer my insecurities, and then we can get married again.
You better go hit the singles bars. Hi, I'm...
Intercourse!
Excuse me?
Intercourse! I'm going to have intercourse with you! I'm divorced, it's fine!
Stan leaves the bar to go shoot some guns and clear his head, and he runs into another woman at the shooting range. It turns out that they actually have some really good chemistry, far better than he and Francine had.
You are one cool customer.
And that just pisses you off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You want to shoot me, don't you?
You have no idea. So how'd you know I was wearing a vest?
I didn't! But I have a rowboat, so it's no big deal for me to dump stuff.
This upsets Francine. Oh no, Stan might have found another woman who likes him. Am I supposed to feel bad for her? She cheats on him, plays pointless mind games with him, tosses him out of his own house, and makes him raise another man's kid. She deserves to be left behind and forgotten about. Stan must have thought this too because he ends up marrying Joanna.
What's wrong?
I can't cheat on my wife.
I'm your wife.
I got remarried.
I'm not scared.
I'll marry the crap out of you.
Do you, Patrick, promise to...
This new marriage doesn't last because it turns out that Stan does love Francine, and Francine is upset at Stan sleeping with his new wife.
Where is she?
I left her. We were in bed. I was gazing at her naked body, but all I could think of was you. You, Francine, I love you.
I knew you wouldn't have sex with her.
Oh no, I had sex with her.
You had sex with her?
5 times! I wanted to make sure it was consistently meaningless. And it was! So your mother and I are remarried, and, I think we're stronger for it. Aren't we, honey?
Not really.
But let me ask you this. Was every guy she slept with just a meaningless fling? Just meaningless sex? No. How do I know this? Well, the episode Choosy Wives Choose Smith introduces Francine's former fiancé.
Stan, I didn't want to tell you this, but 20 years ago, right before I met you, I was engaged to another man.
What?
I'm not gonna go too deep into this episode, but do you honestly think she didn't sleep with him? If she did, can you honestly tell me that there were no feelings involved? She has the nerve to ask Stan to fall in love with her on the inside, but the inside is as wide and empty as the Grand Canyon.
I need you to love me for who I am on the inside.
And by the way, Father of the Year here, this is how I wish I lost my virginity. Not to some coked-up airhead.
Didn't you lose your virginity to Mom?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting sick of these episodes of American Dad. They're so tiring. I need to watch something I actually enjoy. Let me ask you this, does Chichi get a bad rap? When I was younger and first watched DBZ, I saw her as just a mean woman who yelled a lot. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate Chichi more. Her introduction is pretty short and she doesn't make another appearance until the 23rd World Tournament. We're not told the mysterious woman is Chichi, but she reveals this after a fight with Goku. When Goku promises to marry her, she's over the moon. She doesn't want to marry Goku for money, but to start a family with him.
We're going to have a wonderful future together, Goku. Big family, lots of kids.
Kids?
Not too many, 8 or 9.
She even tells Yamcha that her heart belongs to Goku, which pisses off Bulma.
Hello again, Yamcha. You're a sweet person, and I know you're fond of me, but I'm sorry. Goku's my true love.
Listen, this is all just a misunderstanding. It's not what you're thinking. When I met her, she was just a little girl. She was cute in a sisterly sort of way. She looked nothing like the beautiful woman she is today. Honest. Oops, I shouldn't have said that.
The anime added in some extra episodes about their wedding. The arc is a few episodes long, and it suffers a lot from the anime's padding. Basically, before they can get married, the Ox King's castle erupts in flames, and Goku has to go on a few fetch quests to get the items he needs to put out the fire. You could just play Attack of the Saiyans for the Nintendo DS and understand the finer details, but the arc ends with Goku and Chi-Chi getting married.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us on this day I've been waiting for my whole life.
Dragon Ball Z begins with introducing Gohan, their 4-year-old child. Gohan's upbringing is pretty strict. Chi-Chi is making him study rigorously, while Goku is hoping to train him. Now, both sides are pretty extreme. Making a young child study as hard as he does isn't the best, but Goku wanting to train a toddler is also pretty dumb.
But I can't give him any martial arts training to find out for sure. Chi-Chi won't let me.
Why not? Seems like a waste if you ask me.
But Chi-Chi won't budge. She says the world's been at peace for so long now, there's no reason to teach him how to fight.
Are you crazy? No way! I'm not going to let you interfere in Gohan's studies anymore! Why do you think I bought Gohan textbooks and study tapes?
However, Goku's wishes to train Gohan are made true when Piccolo takes him to prepare for the Attack of the Saiyans. Although the fight was a long and brutal one with many deaths, Goku and Gohan did survive. Just for her to find out that they're planning a trip to Planet Namek to bring everyone back who died. She's obviously upset about this, but eventually she relents and allows Gohan to leave. Gohan's upbringing is talked about a lot, but what about Goten? His childhood was far more relaxed when compared to Gohan's. Chichi even started training Goten, just like Goku would have wanted.
Yeah! You call that sparring? I bet your dearly departed father is rolling in his grave right now! Huh? What?
Chichi learned that the way she chose to raise Gohan had flaws and wanted to avoid making those mistakes with Goten, and take some inspiration from the way Goku wanted to parent their kids. Goten has shown himself to not only be an average teen, but a mighty warrior when he needs to be. Chichi might be a tight ass sometimes, but over the years, she's shown herself to be a loyal wife and a loving mother.
I'll be back soon!
Let's go! It takes more than
smiles to make a marriage work.
Huh? Oh, I know what you mean. I need to learn how to cook.
Do you want to be a good wife?
Well, I certainly don't want to be a bad one.
Good. Let's get started.
Isn't it great? You get to spend the whole day with your daddy. I finally get to lay eyes on my Goku again.
That's really cool, huh, Mom? Hey, so maybe I could enter the tournament too? If I win, I get 10 million zenny in prize money.
10 million zenny?
Thanks for the enthusiasm, but it's not a sure thing that I'll win.
You watch your mouth, mister. I didn't raise you to be a quitter, Gohan.
And let's look at some of the scenarios when she's a nag. The end of the battle with Vegeta shows her being concerned over Gohan, and yeah, he nearly died. She's rightfully worried about him leaving for an alien planet. She yells at Goku for training on their farmland, which is how they make their living.
Both of you stop fighting right this second! Look what you guys have done to the field! It's ruined! Oh, crap.
But the nagging scenes have died down a lot. Most of her scenes in Dragon Ball Super have been calm and mundane. But allow me to go on a bit of a tangent about the women in Dragon Ball. The series has gotten criticism over the women being quote-unquote sidelined. Most of the women end up being mothers and staying home. However, characters like Bulma and 18 are always helping out. Bulma with her inventions, and 18 even fought in the Tournament of Power. Videl and Chichi are just human. If they did try to fight, they'd die instantly. They've been sidelined and forgotten about just as much as Tien has. But guess what? Most women want to stay at home and be moms. What happens when a man and a woman love each other? Well, traditionally, they'd get married. What normally happens when they get married? They start a family. What's wrong with the women of Dragon Ball staying home to raise the kids? Nothing is wrong with that. Yet feminists and Screen Rant will make this seem like a horrible atrocity. How dare a woman stay at home and raise some kids? What's the primary demographic that consumes Dragon Ball media? Men. Yeah, some girls are into the series, and I've known a few chicks that like it, but Dragon Ball is a series that's made for young men. A lot of men want to start a family with a girl they like, Yamcha, but Western media isn't supplying men with these kind of stories. It's no surprise that anime has blown up in popularity in the West because it will sell men the idea, the dream, the hope that a woman like Chichi will eventually love you and want to start a family with you. When we compare Francine to Chichi, who would you want to marry? Who would have the best odds of staying with you? The answer is obvious. What's really sad though, is that anime gives me hope someday that I might find my own Chichi. But I'm not gonna find her in America. Most women will act like Francine more than they would Chichi. They're having more and more sex, they're becoming more and more combative, and worst of all, they're getting fatter and fatter. We're expected to be happy when a woman tells us she chooses us now, even though she's at her lowest value. Society has been putting this message out for years, and I've only recently been able to see through it. Look, I understand that these characters are extremely hyperbolic. They're exaggerated caricatures, but that doesn't change the message we can take from these two. There is nothing wrong with people wanting something from their partner. If a woman wants to marry to be a housewife, that is perfectly fine. But what men want matters too. We're told that we want an attractive, submissive, not fat wife, that we're only seeing them as objects. That what we want is shallow. When in reality, most men want more than just a nice piece of booty. We want a loving family and a wife who respects us. But you're not gonna find that from a woman who acts like Francine Smith.
Always remember this. No hymen, no diamond. Goku!